Okay, Team Rotary, it's game time. Okay, first I want to thank the greeters right now. So I'd like to thank Jolene Sita. She's a current co-chair of the Chronicler Committee. She's with Triumph Treatment Services. We also had Mike Middleman, who is a brand new Red Rookie Badger. He is with PNWU. And then we have Kate Irwin, and she's a draft pick, okay? She's not even a member yet. She's jumping in. She's greeting. So, Kate is with the United Way. So thank you all so much for greeting. And now to start our program today, I'm very honored to introduce the Yakima Warriors, and they will have the presentation of the colors. Thank you so much, Yakima Warriors. A little side note, this group was given a Rotary Unsung Hero Award on May 26th of 2022. So they are very amazing. I also have a gift from our club that I will give to their organization as well. So thanks again to the Yakima Warriors. And next up to share some inspiration is David Kobia, and David is with Clifton Larson Allen. David.
Thank you, President. Appreciate the opportunity to share a few words this afternoon. Really appreciate the Yakima Warriors. I think it's a great opportunity to recognize that gratitude really begins with honor and acknowledgement of the land that we live in and the freedoms that we enjoy. Wanted to share a little bit more about gratitude. I know that was what I spoke about last time, so it improves our health, so why not? Let's continue to stay healthy and live a longer life. And as I talked about before, gratitude really isn't about having everything. It's about seeing everything clearly. Cicero once said that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, it is the parent of all virtues, which I thought was an interesting comment. When we practice gratitude, generosity, patience, and courage, they all tend to follow. So here in the Yakima Valley, many native traditions center daily life around giving thanks for earth, water, food, and community. Gratitude isn't an event, it's really a relationship with all that sustains us. So as Rotarians, gratitude is our fuel for service. Maya Angelou put it this way: "This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before." If we treat each new day and each person like that, we will listen better, serve deeper, and leave our community better than when we found it. So today, let's begin with thanks for those who serve, for a chance to serve, and for this day we've never seen before. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So I'd like to welcome our guests. If you're a guest with us today, could you please stand so we can recognize you? Don't be shy. There we go. So thank you so much for being here. For those of you that don't know me, I am Sherry Bissell, and I am very proud and honored to be the 107th president of this Rotary Club. So we were chartered in 1919. We were the first Rotary Club here in Yakima. We are the 37th largest club in the world. There are 45,000 clubs worldwide. Honestly, it's not just about quantity or those numbers, though. It's about quality. And we have quality in this club. We have something for everyone, all ages, all cultures, all occupations. So if you are interested in being on our team, we will take you, we will draft you. There are little blue cards on the table, so grab one of those cards or talk to any Rotarian. Okay, quick announcement. The Second Chance Social will be next Wednesday, the 19th. It will be at Westwood Golf Course. And as I've said before, you don't have to golf. You don't have to be a golfer to attend. You can laugh at all the golfers that are swinging. That's fun too. But seriously, it's a beautiful place. We'll have some food. So bring your spouses, bring a guest, come and join us. Wednesday, November 19th, it's 5:30 at Westwood Golf Club. Okay, is Rick Fairbrook here? Did he make it? No? Okay. Rick Fairbrook wanted to be here today, but he has a crazy week going. He wanted to be here so we could kick off Rotary bell ringing. I believe there are sign-ups on your table, however, so check out the sign-ups on your table. We need to get rolling on that project that we do every week, which is Rotary bell ringing for the Salvation Army. So please check that out. And with that, it is time for Sergeant at Arms with Doug Rich. Doug is a current co-chair of our Public Relations Committee. He works at the Diocese of Yakima. He is a Hall of Famer, being past president in 2018 and 2019. Doug.
Welcome to Rotary, everybody. Thanks for being here today. I'm really looking forward to honoring our women and men who serve our nation's armed forces this week. And normally I'd be up here with fellow Rotarian news anchor Marit Makita. I'm glad to see you here, Marit, but I thought just because of you I'd dress up, properly, I'd imagine. And so anything that goes on with Sergeant at Arms today, it just has to be true because you've heard it here first. So let's have a little trivia and some history of our armed services and raise some money for Rotary charities. Russ Mazzola, what happened on Monday this week? And how old are they now, sir? 250 years old to the Marine Corps as of Monday, November 10th. You, sir, are exempt from fines for the rest of the day. Congratulations. And of course, the Marines, they share a birthday with country music singer Miranda Lambert, that religious scamp, Mr. Martin Luther, and a crap ton of YouTube and Instagram influencers who, frankly, I've never heard of. So, happy again birthday to the Marine Corps. They were all established in 1775 by the Second Continental Congress of the Revolutionary War, when delegates from our 13 colonies gathered to meet in Philadelphia starting of May of that year. And the Marines were the babies of the group. So everybody put $1 in your hand, raise it up if you would, please. And those that think the Navy was the oldest of the two, between the Army and the Navy, please leave your hands raised and pay $1 to the Sergeant at Arms, because it was the Army that was established first. It was a number of years after that, before we had our next armed force fully authorized by Congress in 1915, and that would be the Coast Guard. But the Coast Guard did have its origins in what was known as the Revenue Cutter Service of 1790, to provide secure transport for merchant ships who were approaching U.S. waters, and it has since evolved there into the Coast Guard, which oversees border security, rescue services, both locally and abroad. And then they were followed in 1947 by the United States Air Force, of course, shortly established after World War II, but they actually had their origins in the Civil War. I forget the gentleman's name, but he actually established a balloon force that would float over Confederate troops to do spying missions, and then would land and report back to their forces. So we do have a long established history of armed forces in America. But of course, there is one more, the baby of the group that we are leaving out. Who is familiar with Space Force, that was established in 2016? Space Force was established in 2016 to oversee the greater things above us over the Earth. And they're headquartered in a Cleveland suburb of Sheffield, Ohio, for its close proximity to Lake Erie and its ability to be able to quickly garner into space on a very short period of time. And strangely enough, those that serve in Space Force are known as Guardians. So 5 years after they were established in that Cleveland suburb, the Major League Baseball team, Cleveland, decided that it was time for them to change their name. And so they adopted the Cleveland Guardians as their new name in 2021. Bet you didn't know that. And if you believe that load of crap, please pay $1, because the operating headquarters is outside of Colorado Springs, to be in close proximity to the Air Force Academy and Peterson Space Force Base. All right, a few of you bought it. Glad to hear that. As far as personnel is concerned, who believes, four-way test here for Rotary, I'm going to name these off, and if you believe that it holds its position as the most populous of active military personnel, please, you can keep your $1, but if you're wrong, I want you to pay $1 to the sergeants at arms. Army at 453,000 active. Do we think that's the biggest one of our 6 armed forces? There's a no. Well, you're exempt because you're on the committee, but it is the number one. There you go. Okay, number 2, as mentioned earlier, the Air Force Academy at 321,000. Do we believe the Air Force is the second largest of the 6 armed forces? Do I have any takers? Well, it's actually the Navy at 337,000 is our second largest of the armed forces, followed by the Air Force. Third largest. I'll let you choose between the last 3, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and Space Force. Who thinks it's the Marine Corps? See a few hands. Who thinks it's the Coast Guard? Okay, you all can pay $1 because it is the Marine Corps that is number 4. Coast Guard is number 5, and Space Force being the newest one, obviously, only 9,000 current members, but I'm sure that will grow as time moves on. But that's over 1.3 million active duty personnel who have a common commitment to protecting our citizens and national interests both here and abroad. The other commonality among all 6 armed forces is that they all have their own intelligence department, and that's the sub-entity that is charged with assembling all information and determining what is deemed important. It is then shared in a manner to those on the front lines so they can easily understand, so they can carry out these duties that intelligence has deemed worthy. Sounds eerily similar to most marriages that I know of. So if you've been on the receiving end of said intelligence in your relationship, please pay $1. And if you're on the sending end of said intelligence, please take a bow and pay $2. And I'm going to close this with an adage that intelligence takes on many forms. Given that we are in the middle of Native American Heritage Month, I would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the exceptional work done by the Code Talkers in World War I and World War II. Native Americans that transmitted battlefield communications in their native languages that would never be able to be broken by the enemy. This concise and undecipherable communication was key to Allied forces' victories over opposing forces. So if you're not tapped out already, an owner of Code Talkers and all that have served our military both in the past and currently, please pay $1. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Okay, now to introduce our speaker, the co-chair of our Youth Service Committee. He's also a board director, Mr. Anthony Peterson of the OIC of Washington.
All right. Thank you, President Sherry. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to express our sincere gratitude to all the veterans joining us today. So if you are able, please stand or raise your hand and be recognized by the rest of us. Thank you so much for all you've done. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your continued commitment to our country. It is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker. We are especially grateful because he graciously agreed to join us on a very short notice. And that is a true reflection of the dedication and adaptability that we celebrate today. See, our original speaker, Command Sergeant Major Anton Ruffins of the Yakima Training Center, was unable to join us today due to government restrictions at this time. He did promise to present when things kind of stabilize, so I'm going to hold him to that. But fortunately, the OIC has the best staff in the nation. So my colleague, Mr. Fernando Hernandez, he graciously volunteered to step up and answer the call. So a little bit about Mr. Fernando Hernandez. He graduated from Wapato High School in June 1996 and began recruit training at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego, California on December 31st, 1996. In 2022, at the rank of Master Gunnery Sergeant, and after concluding a 26-year career of honorable service, Fernando retired from the United States Marine Corps. Throughout his career, he served a variety of assignments, including Camp Geiger, North Carolina, Camp Pendleton, California, and as a Marine Corps recruiter in Everett, Marysville, and Renton, Washington. Fernando also served at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and deployed to Rawat, Iraq, as an Iraqi police training chief. His overseas assignments include Okinawa and Iwakuni, Japan, and he concluded his career at the United States Marine Corps Forces Pacific, Camp Smith, Hawaii. Upon returning to the Yakima Valley, Fernando continued serving his community by volunteering to teach financial literacy to Wapato and Toppenish High School students through the Junior Achievement of Washington program. He also served with the Yakima County Veterans Program as a member of the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs Vet Corps. Each spring, Fernando serves as an adjunct professor at Heritage University. Fernando currently serves as a career counselor for the Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program at the OIC of Washington. He holds a bachelor's degree in business management from the University of Maryland and is pursuing an MBA in organizational leadership at Eastern Washington University. And he is expected to be completed in February 2026. Fernando is married to his wife, Ruthie, who is here joining us, and they have 3 children together. Their eldest, Chantel, serves her community as a music program coordinator in San Francisco, California. Their son, Lorenzo, currently serves in the United States Air Force at Travis Air Force Base, California. And their youngest, Angelo, serves in the United States Marine Corps at Kanoe Bay, Hawaii. And Fernando is also accompanied by his beautiful parents, Tony and Tony's better half. So without further ado, Mr. Fernando Hernandez, I welcome you to the stage. Thank you.
All right. So public speaking is one of those skills. If you don't use it, you lose it. So it's been a while since I had to stand in front of a podium. There we go. I lost it. And I came in here thinking, okay, I'm gonna make this short and quick. But turns out I have a little bit more time. So I'm gonna do a little bit of filibustering while I'm up here. How many of no, I'm just kidding. So I do have a show. I'm gonna try to make it up as I go. But first thing I'd like to do is say my thank you to all the veterans out there. So thank you for your service to the Yakima Warriors. Where you at, Otto? Where's my man Otto back there? Thank you guys very much. I don't see my Uncle Joe over there, but I'm sure you guys will give him a hard time next time you see him for me, please. The other thing that, come Veterans Day, a lot of folks, if you've served and you were married during your time in Veterans Day and you had a good relationship at the time, the folks who don't get recognized are spouses. So I wouldn't be up here today talking about the career I had it not been for my wife, Ruthie. We pick up, we move every 2 to 3 years. I think we got lucky. We got to stay at a couple places for 5 years, and we were looked at crazy because that is a very long time to be stuck at a place for. But as spouses, when we move, the spouses are the ones that have to decide where the kid's going to go to school. And then there's also the kids. Our 3 children, Chantel, Lorenzo, and Angelo, had to move as well. So a lot of the times we don't. As a Marine, it was easy for me to, I was a plug and play. You pick me up, you put me anywhere, I'll play that wherever it was going to be. But the kids had to readjust. The kids had to realize these are my friends, but they're only my friends for a couple of years because Dad's going to have to move in a little while. Or when we were stationed overseas, they would make friends, and they kind of all understood, okay, I'll hopefully see you again. The cool thing probably wasn't until the end of our career when they would meet up with other friends who maybe they said goodbye to, that they were really good friends when they were little, and then got to get together again when they were in high school. That happened about maybe once or twice. But a big shout out and big thank you to those spouses and children of veterans as well, because those are the unsung heroes. For veterans who have served, that's what we do it for. We try to be a good example to our kids. We try to impress our spouses. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we do what we can. So again, thank you, Ruthie. And keeping it on Ruthie, so I'm going to keep talking for a while. I'm from, like Anthony said, I'm from Wapato. Growing up in Wapato, there's an elementary school, Sadis Elementary. And if you're lucky enough, when you're a child going to school there, one of the things that can break you away from the other students and make you one of the cool students is if you're serving lunch. So I got the chance, I got the opportunity to serve lunch that day. And if you're really cool, you get to serve French fries. So that was my day to serve French fries. This was in the 5th grade, and so in walks the prettiest girl I'd ever seen in my entire life when I was in the 5th grade. And she's still the prettiest girl I ever seen. I gave her extra fries, and she's been with me ever since. Some women out there like fancy cars or designer jeans. My Ruthie, she likes carbs. So I love you, Ruthie, and thanks for coming out today. Also, thanks to Mom and Dad, my dad, Tony, my mom, Marie. like anything in life, it's about the people that you're surrounded with. And I was very fortunate to grow up to have a hardworking father and a hardworking mother who set the example for me early on in life. So thanks. You guys are the best, number one. Thank you very much. So again, my name is Fernando Hernandez, and I've had the honor of serving 26 years in the United States Marine Corps. I was privileged to lead and serve alongside Marines across the world, overseas on both coasts in times of peace and in times of war. It still feels like yesterday that I stepped onto those yellow footprints. If you're a Marine, you know what those yellow footprints are. When you first get to recruit training at boot camp, there is a line of boot camps, or footprints. It's a platoon, and it's just yellow footprints. So what they do is you get lined up. As you're going through, they pick you up from the airport, they load you on a bus, and halfway, and actually probably as you're going into the depot, the recruit training depot, you have to put your head down so you can't figure out how to leave the base if you want to escape. And they just drive around the base for about 45 minutes to confuse you. And then as the bus stops in front of the yellow footprints, a drill instructor, the first time you get to meet a drill instructor comes into the bus and starts yelling at you, "Get off of my bus now." When you get off the bus, there are drill instructors that are shaking the bus, so it's very intimidating. It's very nerve-wracking. And you jump onto those yellow footprints, and that's where the journey begins. And if there's any Marines out there, you know what those yellow footprints are. One of the jokes we like to make fun of the Marines, if they've served less time than you, you still got yellow paint on the bottom of your boots, so the big people are talking. You get the kids, you don't talk. Wait till the yellow paint comes off the bottom of your boots, then you can talk. Serve more time. That's just an inside joke because I'm trying to make up time here. So, so it just feels like yesterday when I stepped onto those yellow footprints, and even now, I do often pause and reflect on the incredible opportunities that the Marine Corps gave me. Opportunities that shaped my character, leadership, and my purpose. Many moons ago, when I was a young warthog, an old Marine actually sat me down and told me, "Hernandez, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care." Those words followed me throughout my entire career, and they still guide me to this day. Those words remind me, that old Marine's words remind me that leadership, real leadership, are about our people, connection and compassion. And the truth followed me home as I stepped out of uniform, because caring is exactly what I felt and what I needed when I returned back home. Our veteran community here in Yakima is made up of incredible men and women, both young and old, each carrying their own story. And just like that old Marine's quote taught me, it wasn't information or titles that helped me. It was the people who showed me that they cared. When I came home, I thought the transition to civilian life would be simple, and it wasn't. I quickly learned that leaving the uniform behind doesn't mean that the battle stopped. Yakima's local resources became lifelines. The Vet Center gave me a safe place to talk when things felt heavy. The County Veterans Program opened my eyes to resources that I never knew existed. And the Chuck Austin Place helped me rediscover my sense of purpose. Another friend of mine who retired just a year before I did gave me some simple but powerful advice. He said, "Hernandez, you need to find your tribe and you need to find your purpose." I found my tribe through the veterans community, and I found my purpose through the OIC. I still remember meeting Mrs. Jennifer Semenko at a Veterans Coalition meeting and hearing her say, "You're going to work for OIC one day." And I thought, I just met this lady the first day, she's crazy. And here I am. Today I serve as a career counselor with the Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program. And as far as I'm concerned, it's just the beginning of what I can give back to this community. I'll be honest, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. But one thing hasn't changed. I want to serve, I want to contribute, and I want to make a positive difference in people's lives. How exactly that'll look in the future, that's still unfolding. But I know my path involves service, purpose, and community, and that's what makes this time great, because I can look around in this room, and in my heart, I know that's why we're all sitting here today. So thank you all for what you're doing. Before I close, I want to share something small. Do I got time? Before I close, I want to share something small but meaningful for my time as a Marine, a father, and a coach. When my kids were growing up, I got the opportunity to teach their sports, to be a coach for their sports teams a couple of times. One of the traditions that I made was I would let the kids that made up the team choose the name of the team. And they would always have great ideas, but I would always talk the kids into saying, hey, we're gonna be the Wolfpack. And so I remember my son, I can still remember my youngest, he'd be rolling his eyes like, here we go. You would see pictures, there's pictures of us, like the teams are orange, red, blue, yellow, they're always the Wolfpack. If you're from Wapato, you know exactly why. The Wapato Wolfpack has always been a united, resilient, and strong bunch. And although, like many small towns, it's not perfect, but the bond we share is real and it's lasting. The same goes for our Yakima Valley. People here, veterans, families, neighbors, we look out for one another in that same Wolfpack way. It wasn't until later in life I came across a line from a Rudyard Kipling poem, The Law of the Jungle. And it put words into everything I felt about my hometown, about the Marine Corps, and now our veteran community. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. That's us. That's this community. That's what it means to serve, to support one another, and to continue the mission no matter the cost. So as I leave you today, I ask only this: take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and always remember, we are always stronger when we work together. Thank you, and Semper Fidelis. I was about to say, any questions? No, thank you very much. All right, have a good day. Yes, ma'am. Or we'll follow the mic. Does someone have a mic? We'll follow the mic, sorry.
I appreciate that every story is unique and every person has a different reason why they find themselves in a situation in which they become a homeless veteran. Are there common factors or things that we need to know about the greater obstacles, the reasons why veterans find themselves homeless, and things that we can do to impact that?
That's a good question. I think, so for help, just what can we do to help homeless veterans? The first thing, we can't judge. Sometimes in my experience, in the veterans that I've come into contact with, one of the veterans, I just spoke to her yesterday, her house burnt down in 2024, and it's just a sad situation that put her into that scenario. Sometimes us military folks, we're always thinking about right here, right now, let's enjoy the time we have, and maybe we don't put too much thought into the future, so we're not prepared for it. But it's really, like I said, each individual has their own story. And I think the quickest thing you could do, or the best thing you can do, is try to understand that story and not judge. We have individuals out here like Merritt and Juan, who are homeless folks that we help at the Veterans County program, and I'll talk to them and they get tired of me asking for help. Sometimes it's unfortunately, if it's a substance abuse or something like that, sometimes individuals in that situation have to reach their own bottom, or they have to get to the point where it's time for us to change. I think all of us maybe have been at a point in our life where we were dealing with our own demons. Fortunately for us, maybe we had a good support system like I did with my Ruthie, and maybe that's just what these folks didn't have in their life. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you for your service and being here today. What led you to joining the Marine Corps? And if you could slim it down to one important thing you think you got from being a Marine for life skills, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. So, the reason I joined the Marine Corps, like I said, Ruthie and I were high school sweethearts. We've known each other for a very long time. We were so in love that we decided to have our first child very early, so we got pregnant in high school. Our oldest, Chantel, Let's see, we graduated like June, beginning of June. Chantel was born probably 3 weeks after we graduated high school. I knew at that point, I just wanted my daughter to be able to go, that's my dad. She's pointing at me, you know. So that was the reason I joined. I originally enlisted. Man, what the heck is in this water? You guys are like,
I say that
holy
all the time.
cow, you guys are killing me with this water. I'm allergic to it or something. But yeah, no, Chantel, there's nothing like having a young child in your life to really make you rearrange your priorities, and that's exactly what Chantel did for me. So had Chantel and Ruthie not come along, I probably wouldn't be standing up here today. The number one thing thing that I learned from the Marine Corps that's had a huge impact on me today, I'm asking, is that a life skill that I got out of the Marine Corps. I can eat really fast and shower really fast, super fast. So like if I'm running late for work, I'm always on time. I can be there super quick. I think if anything, like one of the things, and it's good, your communication skills. You've got to be able to communicate with your people, and that's a quality that you use, or a skill that you use in your personal life and in your professional life. You've got to have an open line of communication with people in your lives, and understanding that we all are at different stages in our life. We all come from different backgrounds. Like I was saying earlier, don't judge. I learned really early on, like you don't need to judge. Obviously, Marines were known for, being in shape, the haircuts, kind of the look. Well, unfortunately, there are some young Marines who struggle with making weight or being in shape. So we would kind of give them a harder time. Some of the better lessons that I learned were from those individuals who didn't look the part. So just because somebody doesn't look the part doesn't necessarily mean that they're not of value to your organization, to your personal life, or they're not someone that you can learn from. So I think that's the key was communication, and the quick communication. Do it now. So there's open, wide communication, and then there's direct, get it done now, and knowing when to use both is probably a pretty good skill that I've learned. Yes.
I have one more question to add on to your question that I was gonna ask, was why the Marine Corps over any other branch of the military? As a daughter of a Marine, I have a special place in my heart. I love you all, don't get me wrong, but I know the Marine Corps is so hard, and I remember I wanted to follow in my own dad's footsteps, and he was like, no, like that's too hard for you. And so I did my fair share of dating a Marine, but I'm just curious.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, right. Iraq was hard, y'all. Okay. But no, seriously, I joke that I'm just curious why the Marine Corps over any other army or whatever.
Yeah, so again, influence. A really good friend of mine had joined the Marine Corps, but my best friend growing up joined the Marine Corps. He was a bigger guy. He went and came back, and he was kind of in the same situation. He had also had a child early, and it was just something, I knew it was the toughest. I didn't know if I had what it took, and it was just something. I talked to the other recruiters, and in my experience, it was probably the psychological aspect of it. When I went to the other recruiters, they were very, hey man, how's it going? It was cool. And then I went to the Marine Corps recruiter, and he was like, what do you want? Like, why are you here? You don't have what it takes. The door's that way. And I was attracted to that. He got me. So I was like, oh, well, let's go, man. We can do this. And then I got on that bus, and I got to the yellow footprints, and I said, whoa, man, what was I thinking? I should have joined the Navy. But yeah, that was. I was looking for a challenge. I was up for it, and luckily, they kept me around for a little while. Yeah. Okay.
What is the best habit that you took away from your experience in the Marine Corps?
For me, physical fitness. So the best habit, I try to, I get up early, I do my workout in the morning. For me, the physical aspect helps with the mental stuff that kind of, will come around in life sometimes. It's you go out there, you pick up something heavy, all you're thinking about is getting this thing off your chest or up high above your head, and nothing else matters at that time. So you forget about whatever, my lovely wife is yelling at me about, or she never yells at me, we never argue. Whatever I'm wrong about, I'm dealing with that in the gym. But I really, waking up early and getting the workout in before, this is gonna sound silly, but I like knowing that before everybody wakes up, I've done something to better myself. And that's something that was kind of taught. That was actually something I learned at boot camp, and it just stuck with me. I just stuck with it throughout my career. Another thing is listen to my elders. Coming up in the Marine Corps, I knew I was a knucklehead, and everybody in my group was a knucklehead. So I thought, well, maybe these older knuckleheads that have been around a little bit longer, let me go ahead and see what they have to say. One of the things that I like to tell my kids, they got tired of listening to me say it to them, but what's the language? Can I use a little? So I'm gonna say it anyways. So if you got 9 dumbass friends, you're not the diamond in the rough. You are dumbass number 10. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Fernando. Now I know why you were looking at me. I didn't hear what you said about the language thing, but that's okay. So I end our Rotary meetings, as most of you know, with what I call my play of the day. And today it's very simple. And if you would just indulge me for a minute, because I know that Anthony already did this, but if I could have all the veterans and current military members, please stand. And if you could stay standing for just a minute while I get through this, that would be awesome. So normally, yeah, go ahead, absolutely, do that. But just stay standing. Normally, my play of the day is a quote or a saying from a famous person. Well, today it's just me. So, to those standing in this room right now, others who are serving now, have served in the past, there is something in the water, and will serve in the future. I thank you with all my heart for your service. Thank you for my life and freedom in this unique and wonderful nation. Freedom is the difference between the life I choose and the life others choose for me. I am free to think, feel, and speak the way I wish. I am free to live where I want, as I want, and with whomever I want. I am free to speak my opinion and stand for my beliefs. You all have given me that freedom as you have sacrificed your life to do so in part or in whole, without complaint and without reservation. You gave even when giving cost you dearly. Thank you for your sacrifice, your care, and your dedication to make my life better. I have no way to repay you, but I can strive to be a good American that is worth fighting for, and I can say thank you. So thank you. Somebody put something in Fernando in my water. That's just what happened there. So anyway, okay. Woo! Our next couple of meetings coming up next week on the 20th, a very big program. To continue our Native American Heritage Month celebration, Kip Ramsey with Ramsey Family and Yakima Nation History. We are very fortunate to have him. I know I've said this the last couple of weeks. His family has been in Wapato for hundreds of years. We will learn about the legacy that Kip has built, rooted in family, culture, and service, basically. He does not speak about his family or the Yakima Nation in public usually, so this is a first and it's a big deal. So let's show up, bring guests, and honor him. Then the week after that, it's Thanksgiving. So we'll be eating turkey and going shopping and putting up our Christmas trees and whatever it is that you all do. That's just me. Then on December 4th, Danielle Orishtian York will be here. This is a very interesting topic. It's a topic that's really good for Rotary, actually, because she will be talking about growing greatness, which is teaching the next generation in philanthropy. I know we talk about it in this club, a couple of different committees. We've talked about it in this club. It's a very important topic. So that will be on December 4th here at the Convention Center. So bring guests. I say it all the time. We have something for everyone in this club. Committee meetings today. We have programs with Dana, Charlie, and Steven right there. And we have Jobs for Youth with Anthony Peterson and Drew Harris right here. So thank you for your service, veterans, and thank you all for choosing Rotary today. And with that, game over.